All right, good morning, everyone. Calling the Southborough Board of Health meeting to order on Monday, October 27, 2024 at 11:32 p.m. Liz Zulik and I are present, and the first order of business is public comment. So if you have a public comment, feel free to raise your hand. Okay. Approval of minutes from 9/17/24.
I don't have any edits. I reviewed them. They look good on my end.
Okay. I did not have any edits either. So I move
Okay.
we accept the 9/17/24 minutes as presented.
Second, and I vote aye.
And Malinowski's aye. Thank you. Vaccine clinics. Taylor, do you want to give an update on where we're at on those?
Sure. So we have a flu clinic on, sorry, I'm just pulling up my calendar. We have a bunch of flu clinics, but we have a town flu clinic for seniors on the morning of the 16th, and then the afternoon we'll do employees. Depending on that time, how I will know how much vaccine we have left over. I would open up to public if we have more. And then we have a regional vaccine clinic for the public for Northborough, Southborough, and Boylston on Saturday the 19th at Algonquin. That's flu also. I am also going to all the schools this month to vaccinate any teachers who would like it, and all the daycares in town. I am also hoping to order some COVID vaccine to trial it to see if there's a desire in town. So we have a little extra money in our revolving account that we are able to spend. I think so far, Barbara, we've spent 10,000.
Just about, yep.
Okay. And our limit is 15 to be able to spend. A box of 10 is about $1,400. So I was thinking we could get 10, see how that goes, and then if they go fast, I could get another 10, and we could plan accordingly for next year if that was something that people are interested in. I'd probably just offer it first come, first serve during business hours here, one day a week until it's gone. If that's something that the board would be interested in trying out.
Can you talk about the reimbursement of that? Because that's obviously more expensive than what we pay for flu.
Sure. So the way reimbursement works is that as long as you use your vaccine, you get reimbursed for it, and then you also get an administration fee that varies based on what type of insurance people have. We would only offer it to people, unfortunately, who have insurance, just because we do need to be reimbursed for the vaccine to make money on it and be profitable. But usually you get reimbursed anywhere between $5 and $60, depending on the insurance for the administration fee, plus the cost of the vaccine. And that goes the same for flu as well.
So this wouldn't be something that we would be able to do like 100. No, forget about the fact that it's a revolving account right now. We just don't have the funds to be able to sustain doing 100 right now. So if we did want to do this, it would be for two reasons. One, to see if there is community desire. And in our greater boroughs conversations, some of those communities have not expressed a desire, which I think is interesting, because we've had a few people, like a handful of people, ask us about COVID vaccines. So this would be first to trial it, and the second reason is over time we would have to build up our revolving account and expand our the ceiling that we can spend, because right now we have a cap at 15,000. So we're going to talk about that later in the agenda, that we want to increase that so that next year if we wanted to get 20 and 30, 10, then we could afford to do that.
And it would be like a slow build on our revolving account, as long as we were able to use all of the vaccine that we purchased, which is how this account grew in the first place with flu over the years. But
yeah,
it takes a little time to build up.
So Liz, do you think it's a good idea to trial it?
Yeah, I think we should. I mean, especially I think if we see a large demand, then we have more reason to ask, and if we don't ever try out, then we won't know, and so.
Right.
I prefer that we move forward with the trial and see, and especially Taylor, how you propose to order like one box at a time and see
Yeah.
how it goes, I think makes sense.
Yep, I have spoken with the rep. I'm able to order one box at a time. And usually it gets here within a couple of days, so wouldn't delay anything,
Yeah.
ordering a smaller amount versus a larger amount.
Let's do it.
Yeah, so and just for anybody watching, the timeline of like when we spend our flu money to when it lines up to when we get reimbursement isn't always a perfect science. So it totally depends on when we look at the revolving account throughout the year. Like if we have a higher amount in there because we've gotten our reimbursement, but we haven't paid for our vaccine yet. So it definitely ebbs and flows as we get payments throughout the year to replenish that account. I think we should vote because this is a new initiative for us. So I'll move that the Board of Health authorize the health director to purchase one box of COVID vaccine for trial.
Second, I vote aye.
Malinowski's aye. Thank you.
If it's successful, do you need me to come back to the board and get another box, or if I use it, can?
No, I think you can go ahead if you use it
Okay.
and you think use
It would
your,
only be 2 boxes anyways, because that's
Because
what we
that's how
can
it's been
spend this
forward.
year, so.
yeah. Okay. Body Works regulations.
So,
update.
the town has had a couple requests that we develop Body Works regulations. There are towns across the state who have already implemented them. We had talked about it a little bit at our last meeting just to explain what but the Body Works regulations entailed. I developed some regulations that I finished last week that I will send to the board after this meeting for review and comments. And then once the board has shared any comments that they have, I will send to council so that we can vote to implement them at our next meeting.
Would we do a hearing for that?
I don't think so, but I can check with council.
Okay. We may
When I
want,
sent
we
it.
may want to, because we're enacting a new regulation.
Okay.
I think the other thing that we need to figure out with council is how to deal with any business that's currently in existence.
So in most of the regulations that I saw, there was a clause in them already about businesses that are already in town, complying with them. And I can pull mine up, but I think it said either a 60 or 90-day grace period to become compliant.
Okay.
So I'll check with council just to make sure that's okay. I think it was already in my comments for questions for them. But yeah, I can clarify with them, absolutely.
Okay, thank you. Trash hauler regulations process update.
So our trash hauler regs that were reviewed at our last meeting are with council now for their comments and feedback. I have not gotten anything from them because we will be adopting mandatory recycling regulations from the state. We will have to have a public hearing for that in order to have our trash hauler regulations become effective. So we can set up a date, if not the date of our next meeting, to approve and put those together if the board chooses.
Okay. And this will help DPW when they do their annual process for whatever they have to do for
So they will benefit by getting more grants and money back from the state at the end of the year if we implement these.
yeah. Opioid settlement funds.
What do you want me to go over for this? Just that we have the money, we received the money this year.
Yeah.
I have already completed the mandatory reporting form for it. We are starting to gather input from other key stakeholders in town to see what the needs are there's a couple larger projects and a lot of smaller projects, but we do have a large sum of money that we can use, and also are looking to share money and resources with other towns potentially, depending on the project. So more to come on that.
Okay, thank you. Health agent job posting.
We posted a health agent job, the shared Northborough, Southborough health agent job, almost a week and a half ago now. It's gonna be posted until midweek next week, and then we'll review applicants and then start selecting people for the interview process. We have had quite a few applicants apply already, so we do have a good pool of people to pull from, so I'm hopeful there.
And we decided that you and Isabella will do the initial review of those and then come back
Correct.
to this board.
Yeah.
Great, thank you. Noise complaints.
I just wanted to bring this to the board's attention. I know some of them you're already aware of from emails, but we have had an influx of noise complaints, specifically relating to businesses along Route 9. I don't know how much in detail you want me to get, Chelsea.
I just think it's important that the board and the public are aware that we've seen an increase. I don't think you need to go into details, but these take a lot of time for us to research and go through and make sure we're complying with the noise bylaw that the town adopted a few years ago. And, you know, sometimes it means working with other town departments to come to some sort of resolution. And I think it's important that we hear from the public so that we understand what is going on in town. And it's even more important that they're able to send us video of what they're hearing in terms of noise so that we can do our best to come up with a resolution.
I think also it's important to note that our bylaw kind of has a big gray area when it comes to industrial, and that ultimately will be the board's determination to make whether we pursue or not. So some things we will pursue if we need to, and other things we may decide to, the board may decide that it's allowed.
Mm-hmm. And I don't think we've reached a point in anything that we've received that's had to come to this body in public.
Correct. Most things, the businesses in town are really, really great at working with us and trying to resolve the issue. Some things just take a little longer than others to finalize, depending on what the issue is.
Other than Ken's, that was a big
undertaking
by the board. But other than that, Taylor's been able to work with the person who's complaining as well as the source. So we'll continue to work on that. Okay, FY26 budget. So I originally thought that we had to do our budget. I panicked that our budget was going to be due like before our next meeting, so it's not. So Taylor and I will be sitting down prior to our next meeting, and the budget for next year will look weird because of the reorganization that we did, as well as the health agent split between the two towns. So just be prepared for the year over year to not match up completely, but that we are actually, it depends on how the health agent works out, but we will have to have the full expense of the health agent in the budget. So we'll be, I'm not anticipating a large increase because of that, but we'll have to see. Hopefully we'll have an idea of who that person will be before we actually have to finalize our budget. So that way
and then that money will come back to the town from the town of Northborough.
Right.
But we will initially pay for it up front.
Right. And Brian and Carla are well aware of that, so they should incorporate that in their local receipts. Okay, immunization revolving account limit. So as I mentioned, we're at 15,000 for FY 25 for what we can spend out of our revolving account. I think we should increase this to at least 20, if not 25, so that we have flexibility on if this COVID vaccine works out well, if there's another request for a different type of vaccine, so that way we can, obviously we can only spend the amount of money that we have, but at least if we have the flexibility to do that, then we can respond to what residents want.
Yeah, that and also just the fact that in general, vaccines and the equipment around it is getting more expensive too, so it wouldn't be a bad thing.
Agreed.
All right, so you go with 25.
Yep.
All right, so this is actually a warrant article. This is part of a warrant article for all revolving accounts. So I'm gonna go ahead and do a motion and vote it, and then I'll let Carla know that for Springtown meeting, we voted to increase our revolving account limit. So I move
Spending limit.
spending limit, thank you.
Yeah.
I move that we increase the vaccine revolving account spending limit to 25,000 for FY 26.
So moved. And or second, and I vote aye.
Okay, Malinowski's aye. Thank you. Next is, so this is just a reminder on the tobacco license increase. We voted in the spring to increase our fees, and they're going into effect in November. So there's no action on the board, but I just wanted to make sure, remind everyone that we did vote that in the spring. So Barbara will be letting those businesses know the increase.
Great.
All right, meeting schedule. So I think we picked our next meeting.
Yeah, I have November 12th at 11 a.m. It's a Tuesday. Does that still work for everyone?
It's good for me.
Yep, that's fine.
All right, we want to pick December. We want to do December 10th.
I could do 9 o'clock on the 10th.
Okay.
Or what are the days after? Is it Tuesdays and Wednesdays?
No, I think it's Monday and Tuesdays,
Let me look back.
right?
Yeah, I think he can do some Mondays and some Wednesdays, but I think like last month we met on. No, today's Monday. Yeah, so Mondays usually work for him.
I could do Monday the 9th at 12, or I could do Tuesday the 10th at 9. I don't know if we want to send both options to staff to because he's not here today, and see if one of those times work for him.
I can do
can't
either.
The 9th.
You can't?
No, I have a conflicting meeting already.
All right. So
I could also do, I don't know if I feel like it's like the morning and then all day. The other time I could do on the 9th is 2 o'clock.
I have a.
Oh, you're gone all day.
12 to 3 in person on the 9th.
Okay.
So the 10th would work better for me.
So let's see, if that doesn't work for him, we'll switch it.
Yep. If that doesn't work, we have to switch to the 17th, the week, like the following week. I could do Monday at 9 or 12, and I could do Tuesday at 11. Of like the 16th and 17th.
Also,
17th.
it's just a strong possibility that I won't be here for that meeting.
Okay.
Okay.
Got it.
Great.
So we decided on the 10th at 9 a.m.
Yeah, unless after can't do that.
Unless after can't do it.
Yeah. Okay. Public comment. So if you have a public comment, feel free to raise your hand. Okay. I don't see any public comment, so I'll move that we adjourn at 11:51 a.m.
Second, I vote aye.
And Malinowski's aye. Thanks, everyone. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.